They told you it was a flaw, a weakness, something to be fixed and forgotten. But the ones who knew, the lovers, the mystics, they understood something else. What if that ache you carry, that old story of not enoughness, of being too much, of betrayal, what if it isn't a sign that you are broken? What if it isn't a punishment at all? The ancient ones taught a secret, that your most persistent wound is not an obstacle on the path. It is the path. It is a message, a hidden name that God is whispering to you. And to learn that name is to begin your true returning. It is not about erasing the scar. It is about understanding the door it opened. As the poet Rumi is said to have whispered, the wound is the place where the light enters you. We are taught to run from pain, to numb it, to build our lives around its avoidance, as if suffering were a mistake in the system. But the mystics saw it differently. For them, suffering was not the absence of God. It was God's megaphone to rouse a deaf world. This is not to say that pain is good. It is to say that it is meaningful. Your deepest wound is not a random cosmic error. It is a precise invitation, a treasure map where the X marks the spot, not of your breaking, but of your greatest becoming. Think of the oyster. It only forms a pearl because of an irritation it cannot expel. The beauty is not a defiance of the wound. The beauty is a response to the wound. In the same way, the recurring pain in your life is the grain of sand the divine has placed within your soul. It is not there to break you. It is there to force you to create a pearl, a quality, a virtue, a strength that is uniquely yours. Your wound is pointing directly to your dominant divine name, a core quality of God that you are meant to make real in the world. In the mystical traditions, especially in Sufism, the names of God are not just titles. They are living realities, attributes of the divine that breathe through all existence. The patient, the truth, the all-merciful, the protector. The great sage Ibn Arabi spoke of these names as gates, and those who listened deeply came to see that every soul carries the echo of a particular name. It is your spiritual signature, your essence. And how do you find this name? You don't look up to the sky, you look into the wound. The pain is the negative space that reveals the shape of the name you are meant to grow into. Your deepest hurt and your highest purpose are not two different things. They are two sides of the same sacred coin. Let's make this real. Imagine a person whose core wound is invisibility, a feeling of being constantly overlooked, unheard, a ghost in their own story. This pain is not a curse. It is a calling. It is an unrelenting invitation to discover their own secret name, the witness or the perceiver of truth, Al-Basir. The journey of their life is not to scream for attention, but to learn to truly see themselves. And in doing so, they develop a holy capacity to see others, to witness them, to become a sanctuary of presence in a world of distraction. Or the one whose heart is a fortress, built brick by brick after a lifetime of abandonment and betrayal, the pain of being left behind. This wound is a crucible. It is forging in them the capacity for a love that needs no conditions. Their secret name might be the loving, Al-Wadud, or the faithful, Al-Mu'min. The pain is not the end of the story. The pain is the training ground for embodying a divine, unconditional love, a love that doesn't crumble when another person fails, a love that becomes a home for others because it has been tested in fire. Your wound does not define you, but it does guide you. It is the curriculum for your soul's highest remembrance. Instead of asking, "Why is this pain happening to me?" the mystic asks, "What quality is this pain forcing me to unveil within myself?" Years pass, and the name takes root, not as a visitor, but as the quiet rhythm of your own breath. Imagine your wound is the echo of unforgiveness, that stone in your chest, that grudge that never sleeps, the self you cannot release from its past. This is the soul's cry for Al-Ghafur, the all-forgiving, the one whose pardon erases not just the act, but the shadow of separation it leaves behind. At first, you only whisper it, Ya Ghafur, in the dark, when the old regrets rise. You don't fight them, you invite the name to meet them. You feel its mercy touch the hardness, one breath at a time. But this is not a smooth ascent. Months become years, and the ego, that fierce guardian of your pain, does not soften easily. It fights. It reminds you of your right to be angry. The transformation comes not in a storm, but in subtle waves of defeat. You notice the grip loosening. The need to be right begins to feel heavy. The armor of blame starts to crack, and then comes the shattering whisper, you are not the one who was wronged. You are the mercy that can forgive all wrongs. This truth doesn't comfort you, it undoes you. Who are you, if not the victim? In that breaking, the ego thins, not into absence, but into vastness. Your world begins to change. The faces that once owed you something now gleam with a forgivable light. A harsh word from a stranger is no longer an attack. It is a mirror of your own need for grace. A past mistake is no longer a chain. It is a door held open by Al-Ghafur. You begin to see errors, yours and theirs, not as stains, but as breaths in the divine play. And relationships, they become sacred mirrors. Your partner's mistake, once a spark for resentment, now reflects back your own capacity to forgive. And in that quiet pardon, love deepens. A friend's betrayal from long ago visits you in a dream. But you rise, you breathe the name, and you see the wound behind their act, the shared human story. Al-Ghafur flows through you, forgiving them and forgiving the person you were when it happened. This is not a clean process. There are little days of judgment, moments you fail when the old anger wins. But Al-Ghafur is also Ar-Rahim, the mercy that stays, that waits for your return. The path is not linear, it spirals. Each time you fall and whisper the name again, you are not starting over. You are returning deeper. Decades pass, the transformation ripens. Triggers that once felt like assaults now dissolve on arrival. The mind, once a courtroom, quiets, not into emptiness, but into the hum of mercy. You walk streets that once felt hostile, and they now feel holy. The wound that started this journey is now a distant echo. It is no longer a wound, it is the portal you learned to walk through. Every breath a quiet affirmation. I am the forgiven. I am the forgiver. I am forgiveness itself. Pause for a moment. Feel that name in your own heart. What is it whispering to you? What old story is it asking to meet? The path doesn't shout. It invites, gently, endlessly. Your greatest pain is not a flaw to be erased. It is a sacred map to your truest self, a homing signal from the divine. Stop trying to heal the wound. Start listening for its name. Because in that name is the mercy, the purpose, and the love you have been searching for all along. If this message opened a quiet room in your heart, subscribe to Heart's Whisper for more than reflection, for remembrance. And share this with a soul who might need to hear that their pain is not the end of their story. It is the beginning of their name. Peace be with you.